Well, everyone, I am making my way into Freer, Texas. Here's a map real quick. It's out here in the desert. Freer has a median age of 32. That kind of surprised me. It's a pretty young town. Here's the population history. 1990 was peak population, 3271. Last census, there were 2461. Here's the ethnic breakdown real quick. 79% Hispanic, 21% white. Yeah, that's it, just those two. It was a boom town in the 30s because of the oil industry. In fact, the Freer oil field was the second most productive in the United States. Also, in the 1930s, because of that, I guess, Freer was very much an old Wild West town. Principally populated by not only oil workers, but gamblers and prostitutes. Things have calmed down, though. It's not like that anymore. Anyway, you drive through town and or drive into town, you see a lot of pump jacks. So that is still, and I'm talking about oil, is still a big industry here. And that's reflected in the median household income. Here it is, $75,521 a year. That's $1,452 a week. Look at that chart. 25% of the town makes over $100,000. That's pretty good money. That's really good money in a town like this where, here's the cost of living index. It's an 81. So people here are making some money, but not much attention is paid to this downtown, obviously. Yeah, check out this old movie theater. How about that, huh? Woo! I mean, that hasn't been used, God, how long do you think? That is some serious decay. You wonder what it was like back when it was open. Here's poverty. 12.4% overall. School-age children, 17%. Folks 65 and older, 8%. So those numbers are actually not bad, especially considering the low cost of living. That was a nice house in its day, wasn't it? I wonder what happened. One of the things I've noticed is that the roads are very bad. Doesn't look like much money is being spent on infrastructure. There's a church here, Assembly of God. Rivers of Hope, right there. It's interesting that church is in that building because right here, a few doors down, is what looks like an abandoned church. Yeah, it looks like I just walked away from this one. Let's get a look at the front. We can. Yeah, that used to be an old church, didn't it? I wonder what happened. Well, it looks like whoever lived there just up and left. So here's the crime rate for Freer. It's pretty low, 7 incidents per 1,000 people. Yeah, you can't argue with that. See all that cactus? We're definitely in the desert. There's an abandoned house. Bunch of tires on the road if you need some. I guess I've seen enough here, guys. So, got 4 towns I'm going to show you today, all very different places. With some interesting history, especially the last town I'm going to show you. That's looks like it's going to be quite the place. Expect to see a lot of this though. Yeah, so okay, let's head to the next town. Well, everyone, I'm in the town of Benavides, Texas. Here's a map. Show you where I'm at. This town was named after Placido Benavides. He was a Confederate soldier. When he returned here after the war, he donated some land to the railroad and was instrumental in getting a rail line brought in, and a grateful town named itself after him. Yeah, I want to show you this here, but I saw a cat. It always takes the pressure off me to get that first cat sighting, because I know how you guys get when I don't find a cat. There he is, running across the rail line that I talked to you about just a minute ago that was brought into town. Runs right through the middle of the city center. Well, let's see. Here's the ethnic breakdown. 84% Hispanic, 16% white. But I guess I should give you the population history first. Or, it's too late for it to be first, isn't it? Let me give that to you now. 1940, 3,081 people. Pretty good sized town. Last census, 1183. Here's the median household income, $44,950 a year. It's $864 a week. That's kind of what I expected to see. I don't think as many incomes are derived from the oil industry here. Anyway, as I drive into residential, as expected, yeah, we're seeing some empty houses, aren't we? Yeah, nature's on its way to taking that one back, isn't it? Yeah, there's another one. Quite a bit of this. Well, let's see, here's poverty. 22.7% overall. School-age children, 23. Folks 65 and older, 13%. A little high. Not super bad, though. Even though it looks like there's quite a bit. That house looks like it just burned down, doesn't it? Cost of living here is pretty low. An 81. Here's the index. Housing is a 47. So what does that mean? Yeah, houses are going to be pretty cheap here. Here's a median home value. $84,800. That's really low, isn't it? Well, do you guys see that? Bonus cat sighting. That's right. 2 cats already in this little town. How about that? Well, we go Got some stuff there. That was a pretty nice place back in the day. Yeah, you hate to see that. Well, would you look at this? That is beautiful, isn't it? It's just a block off downtown here. That is amazing, isn't it? Let's see, I was going to tell you some more about this guy, Placido Benavides. He has an uncle, also named Placido Benavides. His uncle was known as the Paul Revere of Texas. He rode to warn the Texas Army, or the Texian Army, I think they called it then, that the Mexican Army was on its way. Now this is in Goliad. When they were in Goliad, I actually did a video of Goliad. It is one of the most important towns and cities in Texas in terms of our history and Texas becoming an independent country. Yeah, so his uncle was a Texas war hero. Well, let's see, let me give you crime. That's pretty low here. 14 incidents per 1,000 people, compared to 23 for the U.S. That's pretty low. I have no idea what's going on there. Well, let's see, guys. I think that's enough here. Let's head to the next town. Well, everyone, I'm in the town of Hebbronville, Texas. There's the fire department. I'm going to guess that used to be the fire department. Here, let me show you a map real quick. Show you where I'm at. Town was founded by a guy named James Hebron, and I believe he was a cattle farmer. At one time, this was the busiest cattle shipping center in the United States. This town right here. And cattle farming is still a big industry here. Let's see, I better give you the population history. Here it is. 1980 peak population, almost 4,700 people. Last census, 4,100 people. Well, how about if I give you the ethnic breakdown real quick? 80% Hispanic, 20% white. Median household income, $42,347 a year. That's $814 a week. Let's see, SCOTUS College. Wow. And then we've got this church here. It's quite the beauty, isn't it? Our Lady of Guadalupe, it says. Interesting. Let me give you poverty real quick. 33.2% overall. School-age children, 55%. That is very high. That's over half the kids here live in poverty. Folks 65 and older, 18. I mean, really, Texas, I mean, for real. That is to say, Texas is the greatest state for cat sightings. Come on, you guys. Many of you've been with me through all 50 states. Is there any other state with this many cats? Yeah, it's a really interesting thing driving in this town. I mean, there's a modern car dealership. Look at across the street. Looks like it might have been a hotel, doesn't it? And across the street from it is the county courthouse. Hebbronville is the county seat for Jim Hogg County. Get you a look at that. That is neoclassical architecture. So that's ancient Greece and ancient Rome. The county seat is named after a guy named Jim Hogg. He was the governor of Texas, the 20th governor. He was the first governor of Texas that was actually born here in the state. Well, that has seen better days, hasn't it? You wonder why that doesn't get torn down. I guess there's just not enough money. Most places, I'm pretty sure, would require that to be torn down, wouldn't they? Well, let me give you cost of living. It's pretty low. Here's the index, 77. Housing is a 46. Well, I had to get out, take a look at this. Yeah, there's a house for sale here. I believe it's on East Thompson Street. You guys ready to see it? There it is. Yeah. That could be all yours. And that would be your neighbor. An abandoned house. Who knows, possibly that might be included. That's something, isn't it? I found another really beautiful church here in town. Look at this. Immaculate Chapel. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Median home value $132,400. That is a little bit higher than I thought it would be here. There's quite a bit of this here. I found another house for sale. This one is on Hickory Street. I doubt you'll be able to look that up on the internet though. It's got a phone number. Yeah, but that could be all yours. It's right next door to this. Looks like it used to be a store of some sort. And how about these little murals? Looks like some Marilyn Monroe right there. At Frank's Cafe. How about that? Well, I haven't given you crime yet. It is, well, it's a little high in this town. 27 incidents per 1,000 people. That compares to 23 for the U.S. Wow. You look at this. I just noticed these cows in the yard here. And what is a house that is clearly disintegrating? Isn't that something? You see the cow over there? That's funny. Huh. Well, alright guys. I guess we're going call it a day here. Now let's head to the last town I'm going to show you. The Border Patrol checkpoint. Well, everyone, I am in Mirando City, Texas. Here's a map real quick. Show you where I'm at. I'm heading to the tiny little downtown. Here's population history. Not much. Year 2000, 493 people. 2020, there were a little over 200. Now, by the way, in 1930, there were 1,500 people in this town. Apparently, the census didn't count it. Median age is 38. Ethnic breakdown, 96% Hispanic, 4% white. So all four of these towns. Hispanic majority with some white people, and that's it. No black folk, no Asian folk. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? So here is some of the downtown. That's about it. Looks like a really quiet, even forlorn town, even though cat sighting. Yeah, lots of cats today. So let's get into the income numbers, and that's where things get crazy. Median household income in this town, $107,813 a year. I'm just going to turn into here. Kind of wander around the town a little bit, and we'll talk about how on earth they're making that much money here. That's $2,073 a week. What? Where are these people making their money? Well, it turns out that this town has a plant that grows here in abundance that is illegal in all but one state. Yeah, Texas. It's the peyote plant. In Texas, it's legal to sell. Now, it's a little bit complicated, but turns out that the peyote plant for Native Americans is medicinal. Now, for the rest of us, well, that's where you get mescaline, and that's like LSD. But it is a traditional Native American medicinal plant. It's a cactus, I believe. And so the citizens here are able to harvest it and sell it legally and illegally, from what I understand. Native Americans from all over the United States come here to buy it. Now, you can't just drive into town and buy it, by the way. The person has to be licensed to sell it. And to buy it, you have to have something called a certificate of Native American blood or Indian blood. Actually, they just call it a certificate of Indian blood. And you have to be at least 25% Native American. I wonder if I'm 25%. I'm going to have to do one of those 23andMe things and see. Anyway, yeah, peyote. Yeah, that's the reason for the huge incomes. Here it is again. Look at that breakdown. 49% of the people who live here make over $100K a year. That's pretty good money, isn't it? Especially in a town with a cost of living like this one. That's a 91. Well, that's definitely higher than the other towns, isn't it? But it's still lower. Well, Mirando City Panthers. Must have been the mascot for the school at one time, but I don't think there are any open schools here. This might have been it. It would have been a very small school, it looks like, if that is what it is. Well, there is plenty of this here. And there's some of this here too. It's a pretty nice house. I was looking at the median home value, or I tried to pull it up. It gave me a big fat NA. But it's got the breakdown. It says 72% of the homes here are worth less than 100K. 72% of them. 28% 100K to 200K. No houses here over 200,000. Yeah, so there's that. I pulled up crime. 0 crimes reported here last year. So, wow. Despite selling peyote here, there are no crimes. Not really that surprising, I would think, in a town this small, though. We do see it every now and then, don't we? It looks like a tree house above the house. Did you hear that rooster? Well, I didn't give you poverty yet. Here it is. 10.4% overall. School-age children, 29%. Folks 65 and older, 19%. So a little bit high, for sure. That place is basically falling apart, isn't it? And now let's see. I think there are only 2 operating businesses in the town. That one's clearly not. Yeah, Pasadena, that is a little store right there. Then they have a place called Lala's, I think, Cafe. It's been open since 1953. It's right up here. And when I drove by, there were a lot of cars there. Clearly the social hub of the town, I would say. Yeah, this is it right here. You can see some people out there. And it is open and operating. Lala's Cafe right there. Look at all the cars parked at it. It's where the town hangs out, obviously. That's pretty cool. Well, everyone, that's going to be it for this one. Up next, we are heading to El Paso, and I will see you guys there.